I can't believe these 3 devil fruits might decide the final war, and 2 of them are already in the hands of gods. One bends reality with pure imagination, another spreads chaos through demonic magic, and the last? It hasn't even been revealed yet, but Oda said it could destroy the entire world. These aren't just powers. They're the keys to who wins and who gets erased. There's something deeply unsettling about Imu's devil fruit, not just because we don't even know its true name yet, but because every time we see it, reality seems to bend in ways that shouldn't even be possible. We've seen glimpses, eerie flashes of Imu transforming into some kind of towering demon, their presence warping the very air around them. And even more disturbing, they can turn other people into demons too. Like, what kind of power lets you corrupt another soul and make it your puppet? That's not just strength, that's spiritual domination. But it gets crazier. Imu seems to be able to summon anything at will. Straight up magic. And that word, magic, is important here. Because Imu's ability doesn't feel like your typical devil fruit at all. It's not fire or ice or sand or lightning. This feels ancient, forbidden, like it's tied to the very roots of the Void Century. And the 5 Elders? They're scared, really scared. Just like they tried to erase the name Nika from history, some fans believe they've also buried the name of Imu's fruit deep underground. And for good reason, because when you can rewrite what's real and possess others with darkness, that's not a power any normal person should have. But if Imu represents control and corruption, there's only one force in the world that was designed to oppose that. And that's where Luffy's fruit comes in. The Hito Hito no Mi model Nika, it's not just a devil fruit, it's a symbol, a living, breathing myth that was turned into reality the moment Luffy awakened it. This isn't some last-minute power-up. Oda's been building toward this since Chapter 1. The Sun God Nika is the opposite of everything Imu stands for, where Imu represents silence, domination, and fear. Luffy, through Nika, radiates joy, chaos, and freedom. What makes Nika terrifying isn't just the rubbery toon force we've all seen. It's that Luffy is only limited by his own creativity. And we've seen how wild that can get. This man bent lightning into a fist. He turned the ground into a trampoline. He grabbed the air like it was solid and flung himself like a cartoon character in a Looney Tunes episode. And he does all of this with a smile. There's something divine about that, not in a godly worship me kind of way, but in the way that freedom itself becomes a weapon. Imu corrupts the world through fear. Luffy liberates it through laughter. And here's the wildest part. Oda already confirmed that only 3 fruits rank among the strongest in Elbaf. 1 belongs to Imu, 1 belongs to Luffy. The third? Oh yeah, that's where things get really weird. So the 3rd strongest devil fruit in Elbaf? It belongs to Loki, the Prince of Giants. And this is where the mystery deepens, because unlike Imu and Luffy, we haven't seen this fruit in action yet. All we've got is Oda's word. Loki's fruit can destroy the entire world. Not just an island, not a city, the whole world. And he's got the bounty to back it up. 2.6 billion berries? That's higher than most Yonko when they were introduced. This guy isn't just strong. He's dangerous in ways we don't fully understand yet. Some fans think he's tied to Norse mythology, maybe wielding the power of Nidhogger, the dragon who gnaws at the roots of Yggdrasil. Others believe he might be a twisted reflection of Nika, a dark Nika born from vengeance, not liberation. A god of war instead of a god of freedom. There's also been speculation that Loki thinks he's Nika, that he sees himself as the rightful heir to the Sun God's legend. And that's terrifying, because if Loki believes the world needs to be reset through destruction, and he has the fruit to actually do that, then Luffy might not just be fighting to save his friends, he might be fighting to stop the end of the world. But if these 3 fruits were all destined to clash in Elbaf, what kind of battle is Oda setting us up for? Now, there is also another new, overpowered, awakened devil fruit that has been revealed in the recent chapters. So far in One Piece, St. Killingham Ramoshifu has been lurking in the background like a silent storm, never really showing the full extent of what he's capable of. And honestly, that made him even scarier. The guy just stood there with his calm face, holding that trident like it was just decoration, while the rest of the world had no idea what was coming. But in chapter 1152, all of that changed. Because for the first time ever, we saw him tap into his awakened Zoan form, and it was not what anyone expected. Now here's the wild part. Killingham's devil fruit isn't just any ancient Zoan. It's the Ryu no Mi model, Kirin, which is based on the mythical beast from East Asian lore. Yeah, the same Kirin that's said to appear only during the reign of a just ruler. That alone already sounds crazy symbolic, right? But when it awakens, it gets even weirder. Killingham's body shifts into something that's borderline divine. Centaur-like lower half, still human from the waist up, but radiating this aura like he's not even playing the same game as the rest of the cast anymore. And yes, he keeps the trident, because of course he does. It's his signature weapon. And in this form, it looks like an extension of his soul. But here's where it gets genuinely busted. This form doesn't just make him stronger in a physical sense. No, it takes everything he does and dials it up to dreamlike levels. Literally. See, Killingham's power revolves around manifesting dreams into reality. And in this awakened state, he doesn't just summon fragments of illusions or half-baked visions. He creates complete solid constructs out of people's unconscious desires and fears. Imagine fighting a guy who not only reads your dreams, but turns them into monsters that beat the life out of you. It's like fighting your own imagination, while he's still 5 steps ahead. And just when you think you've figured it out, yeah, he starts bending reality in ways that don't even follow logic anymore. But that's only scratching the surface of how strong he really is. Let's just get this out of the way. Killingham is definitely stronger than a Yonko First Commander. That's not even a stretch at this point. The sheer scale of what he pulled off in Chapter 1152 already puts him above the likes of Katakuri, King, or even Marco. His awakened Kirin form gives him physical strength, mythical level endurance, and straight-up reality warping abilities all at once. Like, he's a tank, a magician, and a tactician, all wrapped into one beast of a character. And if we're talking narrative weight, Oda doesn't introduce characters like this just to have them sit in the background. Killingham feels like a mini-boss with final boss energy. He's the kind of character that shows up once the Straw Hats start reaching the peak of their journey. He's meant to test someone, break someone, or awaken someone else's potential through battle. And honestly, that's what makes his matchup so interesting. Now, who could actually fight this guy and not get completely washed? Luffy's obviously out. He's saving his energy for Imu or whoever's at the top of this entire mess. Zoro's most likely dealing with the Sword Gods or some Mihawk-related finale. So the most logical answer? Jinbe. And it actually makes a ton of sense, because Jinbe hasn't had that defining Straw Hat battle yet. I mean, sure, he had that quick scrap with Who's Who, but let's be real. Who's Who was basically a prelude, a teaser. Killingham, on the other hand, is a nightmare matchup for someone like Jinbe. Water versus Dreamfire? Logic versus illusion? Honor versus chaos? It's the kind of battle that could push Jinbe to unlock something entirely new. Maybe a new fishman karate technique, or even some unspoken hockey boost. Plus, let's not forget, Jinbe is one of the most level-headed Straw Hats. If anyone can mentally keep up with someone like Killingham, who manipulates perception and desire, it's him. And if that's where Oda's headed, this might just be the moment Jinbe becomes legendary. But the next part of this story? Yeah, it's where things get a little dangerous. And when you really step back and look at it, this entire setup is insane. We're not just talking about 3 overpowered devil fruits randomly thrown into the story for hype. We're looking at what might be the final ideological war in One Piece. Each of these fruits isn't just strong in terms of raw ability, they represent entire worldviews. Imu's fruit is terrifying because it's not about flashy destruction or wild transformation. It's quiet, calculated, rooted in secrecy, corruption, and ancient control. It's the manifestation of everything that's been keeping the world chained for 800 years. It's the reason the Void Century was buried, the reason Nika's name was erased. It's power for the sake of control, for domination, for silence. And then you have Luffy, the walking contradiction, a guy so free, so unpredictable that his very heartbeat sounds like laughter. His fruit breaks all the rules, not just physically, but narratively. He doesn't follow logic. He doesn't care about hierarchies. He doesn't fight to conquer. He fights to liberate, to laugh, to dance, to pull the sky down and punch the moon if that's what it takes. He's not just the opposite of Imu. He's the antidote to everything they represent, and that's what makes this clash feel so inevitable. But Loki? Loki is the true wild card here. He's the one who doesn't fit neatly into the binary of freedom versus control. His power might be even more ancient, more apocalyptic. He's not a liberator like Luffy, and he's not a tyrant like Imu. He's something else, something darker. Maybe he thinks the world can't be saved, only reset. Maybe he doesn't want to rule or free people. Maybe he just wants to burn it all and start over. And that makes him terrifying. Because how do you fight someone who doesn't want to win? Just to end everything. What Oda's doing here feels like the culmination of everything he's been building toward. This isn't just about who has the strongest punch or craziest transformation. This is about belief, about legacy, about whether the world gets to laugh again or gets swallowed by silence. And the fact that we still don't know what Loki's fruit even is, that's honestly kind of genius. It leaves this huge looming question mark over everything. Like the final piece of a puzzle we're not allowed to see just yet. So yeah, we're standing at the edge of something massive. Luffy, Imu, Loki. Three living gods, each with their own vision of what the world should be. And when they finally collide, it won't just be a battle, it's going to be a reckoning.